Welcome to another episode of the Bali Business Review. And I'm standing here on one of the busiest junctions here to the entrance of Seminyak and Kuta. Now, in this episode of the Bali Business Review, what we're going to do is look at the proxy indicators in what was once the hottest and most exciting part of Bali. So looking at traffic on this intersection here gives us a good idea of what we can expect during this peak season for economic activity in the tourism sector in Bali. We're going to explore if hotels are being full, if food and beverage restaurants are seeing the occupancy they need, and what smart investors should look at in order to make great investment decisions here in Bali. Is this the peak season we've been waiting for in 2025? Stay tuned and find out more on this episode. As I sit here in traffic on this very busy intersection, one of the interesting proxy indicators is that billboard there and this billboard over here. So why are those billboards good proxy indicators for real estate activity? And the reason is because when real estate companies are flush with cash and they have high expectations of being able to sell properties, they will increase their advertising budget, of which this intersection being on basically the crossroads of so many different areas, connecting Denpasar to connecting Kuta to Seminyak, connecting the airport to Canggu, will be one of the most strategic locations to actually put up advertising. So if you stay here long enough and you see a lot of availability, like the one we're seeing right now on that board, that's a sign people stopped advertising. And when people stop advertising, it's mainly as a developer, they don't really believe it's going to be worth the spend in the advertising because they don't really believe their projects are going to finish. Like I said about economic indicators, wherever you see a lot of motorbikes and no clear signage, you should be very curious because there is clear economic activity here. So I just found the office for, I guess, Sean's group. This is the group that owns Shishi, used to own Sky Garden, and other such. So this is apparently where the interviews are in the back over there, right there. The insight in Bali is this. The people with the really big, fancy offices that have all this, they're not the successful people. The successful people I've always seen are the people with tiny offices and no sign and appointment only, because they don't need anybody else to know that they're rich, especially not the tax man. If you want to know if you're dealing with the real deal, if you're dealing with the real deal and you feel like their office is really small or hidden away, you're probably dealing with somebody who has made enough money to not want to show off to anybody. But if you're dealing with somebody who has a huge, impressive, grandiose office, it probably means they're in debt and they're a developer and they're trying to get money from you. I'm going to drive down the street here in Seminyak, and this is June 2025, first day of June 2025, and I just can't help but notice that there's not a lot of people on the street. I mean, look at the number of businesses, and clearly none of these businesses really have any parking space, and I don't see taxis dropping people off. Really empty for walking traffic on a peak season. Yeah, what could explain this lack of people in what should be one of the largest boutique districts in the world? Like, there's nobody on the sidewalk here. There's a few people, like 2 people coming out there, but this should be like, I mean, this should be packed, right? Don't get it. Wait, look, empty. Empty all the way on this street. Nobody here. Okay, let's go over to the other side. Empty, 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 empty. Does it feel like peak season right now?
No, not really.
It just doesn't seem as busy as
Right. Season in Bali right now.
I don't think there is. I think it changes year by year, season by season.
Yeah?
The weather's never really consistent, but it is kind of like a busy period, I guess. But at the moment, it doesn't feel like it.
Depending on where you go and how you do things, is really if you're on a nightlife, a good nightlife, honestly.
In Canggu, 100%.
110%.
We went to a place yesterday. You can't even go there if you're not someone on social media. I wasn't allowed in.
It was pretty empty, but look, if you need to have a social influence. A couple of days ago, we got invited to this birthday party from this influencer.
Okay.
She had about 350,000 followers, and they didn't let us in until I showed them the invite. But guess what? It was pretty fucking fucking shit. That's a beautiful way to summarise it. It is redistribution.
Okay. With 2 properties
In Canggu,
Okay.
in Brower. I think that very soon it's going to go full circle and everyone will start building in Kuta. That's what I think is going to happen. I think everyone is going to get sick of Perenninan and go back to Kuta. And we'll all be Bali Bogans once again. And we're based in Western Australia.
We're gonna take a quick little lunch break here. This used to be under a different name. It was called the Gourmet Cafe. Let's go inside and take a look. The reason I'm here at this location is because I consider it one of the most strategic places to do business in Seminyak. And the reason is this. Back in the heydays when I was working in the real estate industry, most business lunches would be conducted right here. It would be conducted right here so why did so many business owners choose to actually have their meetings in this location? Number 1, there was AC. Number 2, there was Wi-Fi. Number 3, the food was quite good and affordable. The owners are French. But it's not just the food or the Wi-Fi or the AC, it was just the location. This location is extremely strategic if you're looking at starting a business in Bali, in Seminyak at least, because it is well positioned. Oh, the food has arrived. My salad is here. Yes. Access is probably one of the most strategically planned transportation communication hubs in the entire island. Number 1, it connects the region of Denpasar to the region here. Denpasar is where the majority of talent and labor are going to be residing. Most of your workers, employees in businesses in Bali will be living somewhere in Denpasar. The reason is because it's Indonesian friendly. People are going to find the food and cultures and religious organizations of their preference, and the rent is cheap. So that is where most people are going to live. This is where a lot of people are working. So if you take a look at this heat map, you can see the indicator showing the economic activity on the beach is enormous along this coastline up the west coast. So coming back to it, this area is connecting basically the largest residential to the largest economic center of Bali. And it has to cross through this junction every day. The other really big influx is coming from tourists. Tourists are going to be moving their way up the bypass from the airport, but they will need to turn into the beach at some point. Now there's a few junctions that actually happened before, but those junctions for some reason or the other get more congested. This one, although being a little bit further away from Kuta and such, is pretty free because there's multiple ingress, multiple entry points to get you to either Lagan or further on the beach in Seminyak. So that part is good. But for business owners, this location is extremely strategic for a few reasons. Number 1 is on the way to and from work. Generally, business owners will be living somewhere in Canggu or in Denpasar, so they're going to be passing through this street on a daily basis anyways. This street has an abundance of restaurants for meetings like this, but it also has an abundance of business services. What do I mean? There's an extremely popular print shop called Superprint just up the street, and I can assure you if you run a business in Bali, you probably might want to check the design and quality of a print job before you produce 1,000 or 10,000 units of it. So you can be assured that a lot of business owners will go to Superprint to check to see if their next run is being done correctly. That's number 1. Number 2, there is an OE office that I think belongs to Traveloka just up the street on Jalan Dewi Street as well. So those are, of course, are necessary. If you're in the property management, villa management business, you're probably going to go get your property listed. So their offices are just up the street as well. And also, there's a few notarial offices down the street that essentially handle some of the largest land purchases and such. Those factors make this, it's a really good confluence of two cultures, expat business culture and Indonesian business culture right here on Jalan Dewi Street. Okay, so we'll end where we began, here today, July 1st, 2025. Having seen what we've seen so far and having explored the areas, I hope it gives you as an investor the correct amount of information and guidance and business intelligence in order to make a strategic investment. No, I haven't been filming bikini models unless they accidentally appeared. No, I'm not here to sell real estate. We're here at Bali Business Review to make sure that there is long-term sustainable investments that support Bali, you as an investor, and then just make the ecosystem a better place to visit.